Hello everyone! Continuing with the unbroken ASUS unboxing and overview streak that this channel is currently on, we have with us today what represents nearly the top of the line for a motherboard with the Intel Z690 chipset, the ASUS ROG Maximus Z690 Formula. If you're in the market for a money no object Intel 12th generation Alder Lake PC build, the Maximus Z690 should definitely be on your radar. Before we begin, special thanks to my friends over at Mansa Computers who have lent me this board for the video. Do check them out if you're on the lookout for a custom built PC in Singapore. And with that, let's get started with the packaging. This being a motherboard that sits pretty much at the highest end in terms of what ASUS has on offer, they've clearly spared no expense for the quality of the packaging materials. By the way, the whole package is really heavy. I'd probably put it at around 4 to 5 kilograms in weight. Now the interesting thing about this board is its color scheme, which we'll see in a bit, with a contrasting black and white theme which is sort of alluded to by the color of the box, a grey and silver palette which is in striking deviation from the usual black and red scheme that ASUS usually guns for with its Republic of Gamers lineup. Let's have a look at what's included together with the motherboard, and to do that we'll need to get the board out of the way for the moment. With that, we see that ASUS has included a ROG branded thumb drive that contains drivers and utilities instead of the usual DVD driver disc. And this is accompanied by a ROG Hyper M2 PCIe card that allows you to add 2 M2 slots to the board, one of which supports the latest PCIe 5.0 X4 standard. We'll be taking a closer look at this card later in the video. Moving on to what's underneath the foam divider, we see that we get the usual slew of printed collaterals. First up, we have a ROG marketing leaflet, and this is accompanied by a sheet of ROG stickers in silver which look very nice. And this is rounded up by the usual motherboard manual. Onto the other accessories included with the board, we get a Q connector that simplifies the installation of your front panel headers, a standard 12V RGB extension cable, and this is accompanied by an addressable RGB extension cable. We also do get a pair of braided ROG SATA tree cables which ooze premiumness, and this is accompanied by 4 standard SATA tree cables. Now ASUS has also included 3 packs of Q-Latch attachments. The Q-Latch feature allows you to install M2 SSDs via a toolless design. Apart from that, we do get a M2 rubber pad that adds additional height clearance for folks out there with single-sided SSDs, accompanied by some M2 drive screws, a Wi-Fi antenna with a magnetic base that allows you to attach it to the case of your PC securely. We also do get a graphics card holder that prevents heavy graphics cards from sagging. Pretty nice feature to have, I would say. And this is accompanied by a ROG keychain. All in all, quite a fair bit of kit that is to be expected of a premium board. Onto the board aesthetics, we see that ASUS has gone for a contrasting white and black appearance, with the whites contributed by the massive heatsinks that are slathered liberally on both the front and the rear of the board. As can be seen, the board comes with RGB LED accents in these parts of the board, as well as a LiveDash OLED display that allows you to display device stats such as CPU temperature, frequency, or even a custom animated GIF. I must say, this board is really a stunner and would work very well in a white themed build. In terms of power delivery, the ROG Maximus Z690 Formula guns for a premium 20+1 setup that is rated for up to 105 amps, and this setup lives beneath these Crosschill EK3 water blocks that allow you to hook up a water cooling setup to ensure optimum thermals for your overclocking needs. The Z690 formula comes with 4 DDR5 slots in a single tap configuration, with support for the DDR5 6400 Plus standard and 128GB of RAM. Above the RAM slots are a Q-Code LED display and a QLED setup that allow you to troubleshoot PC issues. ASUS has also included a retry button that is targeted at overclockers and allows a user to force a system reboot when the normal reset button isn't working. A start button that, as its name implies, allows you to power up the PC, as well as a flex key button that serves as a reset button but can also be reconfigured to do other things such as turning on the RGB lighting. Do note that this board comes with an additional 6-pin power connector right here, which provides additional juice to the PCIe X16 slots. Beneath this connector is a front panel USB 3.2 Gen 2x2 header. Rounding up the front panel USB department, ASUS has also included 2 USB 3.2 Gen 1 front panel headers, and it's great to note that they are at a 90-degree angle that allows you to do better cable management. For storage, the board comes with 6 SATA 3 ports and 3 M2 slots that are mounted on the main board, of which 2 M2 slots support the PCIe 4.0 X4 standard and the remaining M2 slot supports the PCIe 3.0 X4 standard. Let's take a closer look at the ROG Hyper M2 PCIe card that comes included with the Z690 formula, and to do so we first need to pop off the heatsink that is currently attached to the card. And here we have it, the 2 M2 slots on the ROG Hyper M2 card. Now I must say the included heatsink with the ROG Hyper M2 card seems a little bit of an overkill, but I'm not really complaining, it looks pretty nice. As mentioned earlier on, the ROG Hyper M2 PCIe card comes with 2 additional M2 slots, one of which supports the PCIe 5.0 X4 mode when the card itself is installed on the appropriate PCIe 5.0 X16 slot, and the remaining M2 slot on the card supports the PCIe 4.0 X4 standard. Do note that the second M2 slot might be disabled. This really depends on how your M2 drive setup is like. For more information, do check out the motherboard manual. Moving on to the expansion slots, the Z690 formula comes with 2 PCIe 5.0 X16 slots as well as a PCIe 4.0 X16 slot that runs at X4 mode. The board's audio is powered by the Realtek ALC4082 audio codec, and this is accompanied by a ESS Sabre 9018Q2C DAC chip. In terms of internet connectivity, the integrated Marvell Ethernet controller provides 10 gigabit Ethernet support, and this is accompanied by Wi-Fi 6E support courtesy of Intel's AX210. In terms of fan and pump headers, the Z690 formula comes with a whopping 8 of them, which are located in these areas of the board. Also included are liquid cooling system headers that allow you to connect sensors to monitor the temperature and flow rate of your liquid cooling system. For RGB support, The board comes with 3 addressable RGB headers as well as a standard 12V RGB header, which are located in these regions of the board. Onto the rear I/O ports, the Z690 formula comes with a BIOS flashback button, which allows you to update the BIOS without a CPU or RAM installed. It also includes a clear CMOS button, a HDMI 2.1 port, 3 USB 2.0 Type-A ports, 2 Thunderbolt 4 USB Type-C ports, a 10GB Ethernet port right here, 6 USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type-A ports, and a USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type-C port. It also includes Wi-Fi antennae connectors and the usual array of audio jack connectors. In conclusion, the ROG Maximus Z690 formula is a feature-packed high-end Z690 board that is sure to meet the needs of most enthusiasts out there looking to build a top-of-the-range water-cooled Intel 12th generation Alder Lake PC. Sporting a great-looking aesthetic, Crosschill 3 EK VRM blocks, a solid power delivery solution that would be able to meet the needs of most overclockers out there, 10GB Ethernet with built-in Wi-Fi 6E, premium audio, PCIe 5.0 X4 support for M2 SSDs of the future, this board would most certainly form the solid bedrock of a very future-proof Intel Alder Lake system. With that, thank you so much for watching, do like and subscribe if you've enjoyed this video, and I hope to catch you guys around the next time.